In the heart of the Buddha's teachings lies a profound truth. There is a way to end suffering. This end to suffering is called Nibbāna, a state of complete liberation from all that binds us, greed, hatred, and delusion. Imagine for a moment a life free from worry, fear, and dissatisfaction, a life filled with deep peace and lasting joy. This is the promise of Nibbāna. Nibbāna is not a place we go to after death. It's a state of being we realize in this very life. It's the ultimate goal of the Buddhist path, a journey of self-discovery and awakening. It's about understanding the true nature of ourselves and the world around us. This journey begins with understanding the four noble truths. First, life inevitably involves suffering. Second, suffering arises from clinging and craving. Third, we can end suffering by releasing attachment. Finally, the path to ending suffering is the Noble Eightfold Path. Nibbāna may seem like a distant concept, but it's a reality available to each of us. By taking even the smallest steps on this path, we begin to experience glimpses of this peace and freedom in our own lives. The journey starts now. The Buddha's teachings, known as the Dhamma, are often compared to a map. This map, however, doesn't guide us through physical terrain, but through the landscape of our own minds. It reveals the causes of our suffering and the path to liberation. At the heart of the Dhamma is the understanding of impermanence, or anicca, the truth that everything is constantly changing. Nothing stays the same, not our feelings, our thoughts, or even our bodies. Clinging to what's impermanent leads to suffering because we're trying to hold on to something that's constantly slipping away. The Dhamma also teaches about non-self, or anatta, the idea that there's no permanent, unchanging self or soul. What we perceive as me is a collection of ever-changing thoughts, feelings, and sensations. This understanding helps us to let go of ego-driven desires and find true freedom. The Buddha's teachings are profound yet practical. They offer a way to navigate the challenges of life with wisdom, compassion, and clarity. By studying and practicing the Dhamma, we begin to see the world and ourselves with new eyes. Every action we take, every word we speak, every thought we think plants a seed in the garden of our mind. Some seeds bring forth the sweet fruits of happiness and peace, while others yield the bitter harvest of suffering and regret. These seeds are the karmic imprints of our actions, our virtue, and our vice. Generosity, kindness, and compassion are seeds of happiness. When we act with an open heart, we cultivate joy and peace within ourselves and inspire the same in others. We create a positive ripple effect that extends far beyond ourselves. Greed, hatred, and delusion are seeds of suffering. When we act out of selfishness, anger, or ignorance, we harm ourselves and others. We create a cycle of negativity that can be difficult to break free from. The Buddha taught that we have the power to choose the seeds we plant. By cultivating wholesome qualities like generosity, loving kindness, and wisdom, we nurture the seeds of happiness and create a brighter future for ourselves and the world. The Buddha taught that the key to ending suffering lies in understanding our own minds. Most of us spend our lives caught up in the external world, chasing after pleasure and avoiding pain. But true peace can only be found within. Our minds are often compared to a wild monkey, constantly swinging from one thought to the next, never finding rest. We get carried away by worries about the past and anxieties about the future, missing the peace and beauty of the present moment. The path to inner peace begins with training our minds through mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about observing our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without getting swept away by them. When we practice mindfulness, we develop a greater sense of self-awareness. We begin to see the habitual patterns of thinking and behavior that lead to suffering. With this awareness, we can start to make wiser choices that lead to greater peace and happiness.